Welcome to ESTNN. My name is Malik, and today we are going to talk about Valorant agents. Before we get started, if you like this video, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe, and hit that bell notification if you want to stay up to date on when we post new videos. Valorant was announced with only a handful of agents, and Viper arguably kept the subreddit alive for many reasons. Beyond the waifu fan art of Viper, she's actually one of the least played agents in Valorant. Her toolkit may not always be the most impactful, but this guide will provide the necessary information to choke out the enemy. To start off, one of the less redeeming qualities of Viper is that her toxic smoke abilities damage teammates. Playing in and around smokes is a large part of Valorant's playstyle and gameplay in general, and using Viper instead of Omen or even Brimstone severely limits your team and how they can play around objectives. Riot has continued to buff Viper since the closed beta, but make no mistake that a clever Viper is deadlier than an accurate one. Two of Viper's abilities run on a fuel resource, forcing her to be clever in her ability use. Most agents only get 1 or 2 charges for their ability, whereas Viper can pick up and place Toxic Screen and Poison Cloud as much as she likes. On paper, it sounds overpowered, but we'll go over some of the downfalls of her abilities later on. If one of these abilities is active, it will drain the fuel resource until the ability is deactivated or Viper runs out of fuel. Both of these abilities and her ultimate inflict a status effect called Decay. Decay will drain an agent's health all the way down to 1 HP for as long as they stand within the ability that inflicted it. Walking outside of the smoke or whatever gave you decay will allow the agent to quite rapidly begin regaining health back to where they were. It's for this reason that Viper's toolkit feels almost reactionary, and it's very hard to pick up the abilities without telegraphing your location. But let's talk about her abilities before we get into anything else. Her first ability, Toxic Screen, is a passable wall that raises a toxic gas to block vision. Viper will fire a line of emitters that can go through walls and can be picked up at any time. Toxic Screen can't be angled or adjusted like Phoenix's Blaze Wall, but it does do a little bit more damage and inflicts decay. On top of that, being able to use the ability multiple times in a round is a bonus. Toxic Screen is used to block enemy sightlines or to cut a team in half and is one of her easier abilities to repick up. The next is Poison Cloud, and this is another ability that runs off of the fuel resource. The emitter for Poison Cloud is thrown by Viper, and when activated emits a ball of toxic gas. The gas emitted is about the same size as Brimstone and Omen's smoke abilities, however Poison Cloud deals damage to any enemy caught inside. The ability is useful in a variety of ways, beyond blocking sight and just being reusable. The radius of Poison Cloud is unaffected by walls, spreading out equally in circumference regardless of position. The emitter doesn't stick to objects or walls, which has led to pro players finding some discrete ledges or solid objects to place the ability and use it. Unlike the other 2 controller type agents, Viper must throw her smoke, opening up room for human error in where it's placed. Snakebite is a vial of acid that can explode into a little pool and weakens any enemies that walk through it. The acid vial is launched from Viper's wrist and breaks into a pool of acid upon impact with the ground. In addition to doing damage, it will also inflict the fragile status effect, making the affected agent take more damage for a short period. Before this buff, enemy agents would just run through this ability, eating the damage and opting for aggression. The ability is still lackluster and mildly annoying for the opposition at best. Viper's ultimate ability is Viper's Pit, a crowd control ability perfect for solo players. Viper will spew out a humongous cloud of toxic gas, applying decay to any agent inside of it. Any enemy inside of Viper's Pit will be highlighted in red for her to see, and the gas will last for as long as Viper remains inside of it. Viper can be outside of her ultimate for only a short period of time where it will stay active before she must return. The ultimate is an incredible tool at zoning the enemy away from a planted spike. The major issue with the ultimate is that her teammates will take the same damage as enemies, forcing them to play outside of the objective. Viper has the potential to be an incredibly powerful agent. Although I mentioned she can place and pick up her abilities freely, she often struggles to retrieve them, especially in the heat of battle. Even if Viper happens to retrieve her emitters, replacing them would telegraph her position. Activating the poison cloud and the toxic gas will drain her fuel quite rapidly, and it takes a full 20 seconds for it to completely recharge. The hope is that decay becomes a bit more aggressive, inflicting more damage or slowing the recovery rate of health after leaving the ability. Valorant as a tactical shooter feels solid, and a well-designed agent like Viper deserves her spot in the competitive scene. In other Valorant agent guides, I've talked about the unique value that each agent brings. Most players will overlook Viper for now, but with more buffs on the horizon and an intelligent agent design, expect good things for this toxic agent. My name is Malik. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you liked this video, make sure to drop us a like. If you want to stay up to date on all of the other videos that we are putting out, in addition to all of our Valorant and other esports related stuff, make sure to hit that subscribe and that bell icon so that way you will get notifications whenever we post new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.